Thank you for having me here. And I'm really grateful to Business World and BWSME World for inviting me to the Emerging Businesses Summit for the virtual discussion. And the topic which I have today is NSIC role in Go Local for Vocal. Just to tell the audience here that NSIC is the only public sector enterprise which is working with the Ministry of MSME, and it was basically incorporated in the year 1955 under the Companies Act, and we have 56 field offices and 8 technical service centers across the country. So the expanse of NSIC is throughout the country. And many of these schemes and the policies which are being run by the ministry, they are taken care of by NSIC. And also they have been doing a lot of work on their own in various fields. So when we talk about the emerging businesses and what the corporation can do in the field, I would like to brief the august audience that during the past few years, NSIC has been a lot into training, and we have these technical centers across the country. We have also been working on the rapid incubation model, and our presence is in many of the African countries where we have helped in setting up the rapid incubation centers. One of the main work which NSIC is doing in the field is helping and assisting the micro and the small units in getting the raw material. As we all know that raw material is one of the key components in any kind of industry which you put out, whether it is a small or a medium or even a micro. And the problem for the micro enterprises is that it is not very easy for them to get the raw material. So NSIC has been assisting in the supply of aluminium, iron, steel, paraffin wax, etc. And we also provide around 20,000 crores of credit support has been provided in the past few years. So from NSIC, we realized that we, being the only corporation which is working for the sector, and both in the manufacturing as well as in the services sector, we play a very important role. And we are also working very closely with many of the state governments, because many of the, as we all know, that every state has its own procurement policy, though there has been a procurement policy from 2012 and later revised in 2016, the procurement policy which was released by the Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises, our ministry. But to substantiate what the other states are doing and to create an awareness at the ground level, because when we work at the field level, it is very important to know what are the rules and what is being done at the different states have different ways of dealing with their transportation and how the raw material is moving in their state and how the credit facilitation is being done in these in these states. So NSIC has been running the credit facilitation scheme through the banks, and we have MOUs with many of the private and the public sector banks. And to give you a good news is that NSIC has also been chosen by the Government of India for a self-reliant fund. A fund of funds has been given to NSIC, just like SIDBI has been running many funds for the MSMEs. NSIC has also created a subsidiary, NSIC Venture Capital Fund, and we will slowly and shortly be unveiling. We have started working with many Ps, though we are in the nascent stage as of now. But in the future, we see NSIC playing a very important role once the fund comes, and fund has already come in, and the outflow starts, where we will be working with early startups or early or small micro units and trying to make them bigger, and so that their potential and we can make them export competent. The raw material scheme which we run from NSIC has been assisting the micro units at all kinds of levels. We also run a scheme called the single point registration scheme, where we enlist the MSCs for participation in the public procurement, and we help them in getting the tender documents, exemption from the earnest money deposits, etc., and also for the tender marketing. Another scheme of the ministry which NSIC has been facilitating is the National SC/ST Hub. As we all know that the SC/ST Hub was inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister, and it was his clarion call that for the SC/ST entrepreneurs, we need to get them into the main line. It is not that they should be only getting the small contracts or the services contracts. We need to get them in the main line. And for that, NSIC has been at the helm of affairs. And from NSIC, we have been interacting very closely with all the PSUs. In fact, we have been able to get nodal officers declared for the SC/ST entrepreneurs at every PSU. And we are having regularly vendor development programs, marketing events. And from what we inherited, 0.004% was the output which was going to the SC/ST entrepreneurs. Today, we are nearly reaching 1%. So that is a big achievement. Though when we look at the overall scenario, it seems that 4% is very far away. But the kind of work which has been done facilitating the entrepreneurs listing and what is it that the PSUs are buying, that has been one of the main endeavors of NSIC, that we have got everybody listed. All the PSUs have on the portal, they all have a login where they post what they are buying, what will be their procurement plans. And we are trying to increase the number of SC and ST entrepreneurs who are becoming a part of the SC/ST Hub. Similarly, another initiative which NSIC has taken is of creating the MSME Mart. It is a portal which we have created for the B2B e-marketing linkages. And here, on this portal, most of the MSMEs who are interacting, they can interact with each other. And the idea during the COVID period, which has taught all of us that e-commerce platforms are very important. As of now, we don't have any B2C because as such, NSIC does not have a product to sell, though we are more into the facilitation of services which we provide to the MSCs. So the B2B portal, and initially we have, during this COVID period, we have done some leverages and provided many of them connectivity. Also on the international marketing scene, where the ministry has been in talks with many of the countries apart from the European EU as well as US, because these were the areas where most of the market seems to be saturated. So we have also started talking to countries in the Latin American countries, or when we look from Korea ahead, Taiwan, and we are having partnership and dialogues with these countries where we can work on setting up incubators, training, and if we can make these visits for our MSMEs and share a B2B platform. And during the COVID period, from the ministry side, we had conversations with nearly 100 of such countries, and the Indian ambassadors at the lead in most of these countries where NSIC also participated. And the international fairs also, we have been participating. So the idea from NSIC remains is that schemes and policies are there. We, with the ministry, are trying to participate in as many programs, as many conclaves, educational programs. Training remains one of our main focuses, as well as the raw material supply. And now with the coming of fund of funds, we are hoping that we will be able to reach out closely to many of the units which are just at the at the seat where somebody holds their hand and they are able to take off. So as I know, the timing is very short, So thank you so much. And I am really thankful for inviting me to be here and participating in this program. Thank you. Thank you all.